This is going to be a long-winded story. I'm going to I'm going to get to a point in a circuitous manner. Let me just tell you about moving. Moving is, I tell you what, it's unlike anything else. It's maybe, they call it one of the most stressful events in your life. And there are things that it really just doesn't matter how much money you have, that you have to do them yourself. Like, I've tried to hire these things out. I'm willing to pay whatever, not whatever, but I'm willing to pay pretty much whatever. And they're just decisions that nobody but you can make. Like, your eyeballs, your brain, you know stuff, whether you need it, whether you don't, where it goes, etc. And that takes time. That takes energy. That is hard. And you have to figure out when to get the cable guy in. And you can't just, you have to figure out, like, your eye line has to be where they set up the TV. Like, all of it is you, you know? Even if you're Dame Lillard. Even if you make $40 million a year, some stuff you just have to do yourself. And even if you are Dame Lillard, you can hire some out, right? But what if you're Dame Lillard's cousin? What if you're Dame Lillard's nephew? Second cousin, second brother, whatever, right? All of this to say, there are a few reasons based on a new story that has come to light by Chris Haynes, my guy, the only guy on the podcast I really reference by name. All the other reporters are just random reporters. He did an interview with Dame, and now I know, based on this, Dame is never leaving Portland. Never. 2 days ago, there were a couple of things in this story that gave me tremendous solace. One, Dame Lillard came out and told the world, and told Chris Haynes, which then told the world, that he met with LeBron James this offseason, and LeBron James and Anthony Davis recruited him to go to the Lakers. Whoa. That is a wrinkle, right? There are some things that if you're considering them, you don't come out to the world and say happened. If he's still thinking about joining a super team, then that never comes out, right? He said, that is not my thing. I sat with them and I realized this is not for me. I could see myself in LA, but not with Bron and not with AD. Because once you decide to chase a ring, he said, you could be moved immediately. If things don't work out, you end up leaving the town or the city that drafted you, and then all of a sudden, you're on to another team, and then on to another team, and on to another team. I don't know, like Chris Paul, or Russell Westbrook, or Carmelo, right? So that gave me, as a Portland Trailblazer fan, quite a bit of peace. But not as much as this. This paragraph in the Haynes article gave me almost like, I've got you. You're mine now. You know? You're mine forever now. This quote, all right, so it turns out Lillard is from Oakland, right? Lillard is from Oakland, California. The closest destination to play basketball outside of places that already have 2 max stars, and you can't have 3, outside of LA, outside of Golden State, outside of Sacramento, which no one is going to go to, and outside of Utah, is Portland, right? So he's got tremendous family life. But he also has 30 family members who have moved from Oakland to Portland, Oregon, to live in him and with him somewhere nearby in some enclave. He has regular barbecues with like 60 people there in Westland, Oregon, right? And they wait for him in the family and friends section of the Moda Center, and they go to post-game dinners, and they roll Dame Juniors roaming the hallways of Moda Center. It's like he's at home, right? So if Dame were to decide to leave, what do those 30 people need to do? They would all need to move, wouldn't they? They would all need to uproot their life that they have built in the last 10 years in the league that Dame's been there and find a new house and a new neighborhood and new Xfinity and Fios and box it up and travel this and that, all 30 of them. That would disrupt an entire family unit. And he knew that if he was going to leave, that would change a reliable family dynamic that he values. How do we know he values it? Because even he and his long-term girlfriend, Kayla, who they've had some ups and downs, I know that, we all know that, he put a ring on it. This summer, he put a ring on that, and now he's put a ring on his relationship again, reunited his vows with Portland. There's no way if Dame were to leave to Philadelphia, all 30 of those family members go to Philadelphia. No way! By the way, Philadelphia is a shithole. And if you're from the West Coast and you also, those 30 people want to be close to the other 30 people that are in Oakland, right? That whole little dynamic is very close-knit, but also close together in terms of travel time. You're not going to move 6 hours across the country, 7 hours across the country, flight time, to go to some shitty place with shitty food and shitty fan base. No chance. If it was just Dame, maybe Dame's wife and kids, maybe. 30 people? No chance. Box their shit. Find Xfinity. Find Fios in a flash. What if then he gets moved to Houston? What if then moves to Oklahoma City, God forbid? That is not the vibe. I knew right then, we've got him forever, folks. Not only has he said publicly he doesn't want to go to a super team, he also is not destroying that little community. He said, my family encouraged me not to make a decision based on them. Pause. And that's a lie. They said, we're going to be fine. But I know that they said that to be unselfish. Yes. When I was thinking about potentially leaving, I was thinking, is it really worth it to chase what all these other people are telling me I have to do or have to have? Or is it important just to do what means something to me? If there's anybody in this league that moves to the beat of their own drum, it's me. And I think people look at it like, he's just taking the money. He doesn't want to win. The media is so accustomed to rocking the boat and making people move how they want them to move, and that's not going to happen with me. Basically, in this article, Dame said, I know what you fuckers do. You guys try to plant seeds, telling me I'm not going to be a legend unless I win a ring. And I know that there's a possibility I might not win a ring if I stay in Portland. And what's the only way I can ensure to win a ring? Oh, I have to join a super team, but that's against my ethos and my morals, but you're pushing me to do that. What do I do? Then you have a nervous breakdown, which he sort of had. He is 10 toes down. You know what he also said? I am going and I'm willing to go down with the ship. We got him, folks. He's willing to die for us. He's willing to stay on this Moda Center Titanic and go pew, pew, pew. Are you kidding me? My guy, Dame Lillard, also came out with a freestyle that said, not joining a super team might be my Achilles heel, but I don't care. Folks, then he goes on to say, yes, I'm sure it would be great to play with LeBron and AD and play in a big market, but as attractive as it sounded and as fun as that might be, I don't feel that in my heart that's who I am or where I belong. And the one thing I must emphasize, he says, is this was not made out of comfort. I'm not afraid to go out of my comfort zone because I'm going to live in Portland when I'm done playing, regardless. He is going to stay in Portland for the rest of his days. My Lord, Damian Lillard is going to get a street in Oregon. In Portland, Oregon, we're going to replace Cesar Chavez Road, which used to be Martin Luther King Jr., but because there's so much crime on MLK Jr. Boulevard, they changed it to Cesar Chavez. Now they're going to change it to Dame Lillard Boulevard because you know why? Dame Lillard is never fucking leaving Portland. We've got him forever. Portland fans, look in the mirror and say this. We owe it to Dame to bring this man a ring, but you know what? If we don't, he is going to die. He's probably going to have a gravestone in Portland, Oregon. Let me just say this. The best news I could ever get as a Portland Trailblazer fan, knowing that we probably will never win a ring, is knowing that Dame Lillard will never leave us. Thank the Lord, baby Jesus.